A little while back, we recorded the video on how to sell auto insurance in 3 simple steps. Now, our agency writes over $800,000 in P&C premium every single month. And we have team members that are writing $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a month in premium. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know the exact process they use to do that. So check it out. I got a beard, now I got a goatee. Things are a little different, but enjoy it. So the first tip to make your sales conversations better is to check for your prospect's understanding. So when you get on the phone and you've went through the eligibility questions, you know they're a prospect that you want. Before you talk about your coverages, ask them about their coverages. How much do they know about their current policy? This is gonna give you so much information to use on the back end. And the last thing you wanna do is roll into talking about your coverages, about the liability limits, property damage, the rental reimbursement, the deductibles, comp, collision, and they don't even know what it means. A lot of people, when they're calling about their insurance, they just care about the price. And then they get upset when they go to make a claim and they're not covered because all they care about is price, and agents just give them price, and then they close the deal, and that's that. So by checking for understanding, you're gonna be able to explain certain parts of the coverage on what they currently have. They're gonna trust you more, they're gonna understand their policy more. You're gonna know why they have the coverages they have. What if they picked up rental reimbursement because they got their vehicle broke down 100 miles away from their house and they were stuck in 110-degree weather for 3 hours waiting on AAA? That's important, so you're gonna need to have that coverage. And little stories like that you'll figure out through checking for understanding. And also, you'll be able to figure out what type of agent they were dealing with. If they have the state minimums and they don't know why they have the state minimums, then you know that the previous agent just kind of did a quick deal, just wanted to earn the business, gave them a low rate, and that's that. So the first thing you want to do, check for understanding. Do you know how you're currently covered? Do you know why you have the coverages that you have? And then from there, step number 2 is you want to discuss several similarities. So you want to take what comes standard on your policy and standard on their policy and talk about what's going to be the same. Because the last thing that someone wants to do is get worse coverage or not know if they're getting better coverage. First, you check for their understanding. Hey, how much do you know about your current policy? Why do you have the coverages that you have? Why did your agent give you the coverages that you have? So now that we understand that, right now, what you're covered for, this, and this, we're gonna cover you for the same exact things here. That all remains the same. Deductibles, property damage, rental, roadside assistance, whatever it is that's the same, we're gonna keep that the same here. So now in the prospect's mind, they're like, okay, I understand my policy a little bit better. I know that I'm not getting worse coverage because they're covering me for the same thing I'm already covered for. And then the third step, then you wanna fill the gaps, because at this point, you already know how much they know about their current policy. You already know what's gonna be the same, and you can find little bits and pieces where you can plug in some endorsements or higher limits, whatever the case is, to fill in those gaps. So if they have state minimums, talk to them about the average hospital bill after a car accident or what the average car costs nowadays, and you can raise those limits. If they don't have rental coverage, add rental coverage. If they don't have roadside assistance, add roadside assistance. By filling these gaps, you're gonna create a stark difference between your policy and the policy they have currently. At the end of the call, if your price is the same or less, if you're saving them money, it's a no-brainer, right? You're getting much better coverage for a lower rate. Now, if your price is higher, which happens a lot of the times, then you can justify why your price is higher. Yes, you're paying $20 a month less or $50 a month less, but it's a completely different policy because right now you're covered for this. And if this situation or risk happens, then you're gonna be out of pocket money. When you're insured with us, we're gonna cover you here, here, and here. So now you can fill the gaps, justify the rate being different, and then you can close the deal. If you start doing those 3 things, instead of getting on the call just saying, hey, what's your name, what's your address, what's your date of birth, okay, what do you do for work, okay, cool, let me get the quote together, give me a couple minutes, yep, the price is gonna be $200 a month. What's $200 a month? How do I know what I'm covered for? What are my deductibles? So if your calls are bland, if they're not exciting, if there's no back and forth, and you're not closing deals, which is what all those things lead to, then you need to implement these 3 steps. If you don't know how, if you're like, like, how do I check for their understanding? What questions do I have to ask? Or how do I tell them that we're gonna cover the same things that they're covered for? Because it's not as simple as just saying, hey, right now what you're covered for, we're gonna keep that the same. There's a specific way that you have to go about that to where it registers in their brain. And then the most important part, how do I justify my price being higher with better coverage? Isn't the prospect just gonna say, no, drop my coverage down. I don't wanna pay more. Give me the same coverage that I have right now. So if you wanna learn how to implement these steps word for word and start closing deals right away, we have that for you. InsuranceSalesLab.com. It's the most comprehensive P&C insurance training platform in the industry. We take you from the very top of the call, from the moment the prospect says hello, down to handling opening objections, building rapport, building value versus selling on price on the auto, the home. We talk about multi-lining different policies, presenting the price, asking for the sale, handling closing objections. Everybody's favorite part of the call is when someone says, I want to think about it, I want to shop it around, I want to talk to my spouse. We show you word for word how to handle those. And if you're an agent, we'll show you how to become more profitable. We don't just talk about selling insurance. We're not the average guru that's like, hey, use this theory, use this concept. We use these every single day, every single call. They're checking for understanding, discussing a few similarities, filling in the gaps. They're using the sales process and writing a ton of premium. If this is you and you want to make your sales conversations better as a P&C insurance agent, if you want to close more business, go to InsuranceSalesLab.com, become a member today.